All right, today we are talking about the coordinate plane. Here's some of the vocabulary that you're going to be expected to know by the end of today, and you should know it moving forward. The more you know, the easier it is. So the x-axis, y-axis, quadrants, origin, and coordinate pairs. All right, what we have been dealing with recently is solving and graphing inequalities on a horizontal number line. So we're going to build off of that. So our horizontal number line, if we had a 0 there, we'd be moving in a positive direction. Positive 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 5. And we move in a negative direction. Negative 1, negative 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do to create my coordinate plane is I'm going to erase this 0 because we have one horizontal number line. Now we're going to need a vertical number line. And our vertical number line is going to count very similar to the horizontal. Going up is going to be our positive numbers. So positive 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 5. And going down are going to be our negative numbers. So negative 5. Okay? Now, we have these two lines, horizontal and vertical. They have to be named because they're different and they do different things. So our horizontal number line is going to be called the x-axis. Okay? And the vertical number line is going to be called the y-axis. Now the x-axis and the y-axis has split this into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And those 4 sections are called quadrants. So we have quadrant 1, top right. And that has to be written in Roman numerals. So Roman numeral 1. Top left section is going to be called quadrant 2. Bottom left section, quadrant 3. And bottom right section, quadrant 4. Okay, so how are we going to remember that quadrant 1 is top right instead of top left, where it should be, because we typically read left to right. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but let's think about that as you're following along. Okay, so now we have our horizontal, our vertical, our 4 different sections. And where do these two lines intersect? Where do they cross? Right there. And where did it cross on the number line? On the horizontal number line, we're going to make a point. On the horizontal number line, it crossed at 0. On the vertical number line, it also crossed at 0. Okay? And this point, 0, 0, has got a name. The name of this point is called the origin. O-R-I-G-I-N. Origin. Think of like when things originate, and the origin and originate, they kind of sound the same. It's because everything we do on a coordinate plane originates or starts from this point. Okay? And let's see. The last term that we have is a coordinate pair. This right here is a coordinate pair. Okay? And what it is it's a value for your x and a value for your y. So over here I'm going to write a coordinate pair. So a coordinate pair are a set of parentheses that gives you a point that's on the graph. Your x value always comes first. Your y value always comes second. Okay? So let's take our coordinate pairs and let's talk about what they're going to look like when you're on the coordinate plane. So when we're in quadrant 1, what are my x values always going to be? So when I'm on quadrant 1, I'm looking at the x-axis, and my x values are always going to be positive. My y values are also always going to be positive. When I'm in quadrant 2, my x values are negative. So negative there, my y values are positive there. So if you ever see a set of points where you have a negative in your x value and a positive in your y value, you're in quadrant 2. Quadrant 3, we have negative x values and we have negative y values. And in quadrant 4, we have positive x values, but we have negative y values. So again, anytime that you see a point, you can look at the signs of the numbers and determine what quadrant it's going to be in. Okay? The last thing that we're going to talk about is how do I remember the quadrants? Well, if you're a student of mine, or you go to Rancho Cucamonga High School, we're going to draw the letter C. How would we draw the letter C? And I'm going to kind of mess up my pretty drawing right here. The capital letter C would start here, and what quadrant am I in? I'm in quadrant 1. Then I would go through quadrant 2 to quadrant 3, and then finish off my C in quadrant 4. So, capital C, Rancho Cucamonga, that's how we remember that quadrant 1 is top right, quadrant 2 is top left, 3 is bottom left, 4 is bottom right. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you have any questions, watch it again, please. Watch it 10 times. It's going to be good for you because it'll give you that much more knowledge. If you still have questions after that, ask your teacher and we'll get back to you. Thanks and have a great day.